Hello, everybody. This is the late night version of the Weekly Heat.
What time is it, Fred?
Starring Fred. I was getting ready for bed, and then I forgot that I said we're going to do the Weekly Heat today because the next 2 days quite possibly might be hell on earth, and we won't be able to get it done.
Yeah.
So, here I sit with my wife.
Hi,
with
everyone.
No pants on.
Welcome to the Weekly
Heat! We don't look tired.
We're really tired. It's not even late, it's like 10.
No, but we discovered hard seltzer. So we sleepy.
We're sleepy.
Hi,
Fred.
Hi, Fred. Okay, so there were a couple things that we wanted to talk about. And do you want to do them in any order?
I think we should do Gizzy first.
Okay, go ahead.
Well...
Oh! Before we do that, let's do our Patreon shoutouts.
Oh my god, I don't know if that's
So, I should have planned that better.
Yeah.
My bad. So, we want to thank Amory.
Woohoo!
Yay! Gail.
Woohoo!
Barbara.
Woohoo!
Lauren.
Woohoo!
Marilyn.
Woohoo!
And Gail.
I think you said Gail, didn't you?
Oh.
Well,
this is what happens when I try to do things
I know.
Out of order.
Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate you. You are awesome. Thank you so much.
So if I was supposed to say your name and I didn't say your name, but I said your name twice or something, I apologize.
Call us out.
Please do. I need the calling out.
Yeah. And thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And if you would like to also be one of our lovely people on Patreon who could hear our Waffle Ramble podcast, and this week it didn't even have a title because we just waffled.
We literally waffled.
We waffled, like hard waffle with no point. It was like an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
You can check those out if you go to blackstarhomestead.com and click the Patreon link.
Yeah.
There you go. So, with all the fun stuff out of the way, go ahead.
Well, we lost poor old Gizzy. When was it? Not yesterday.
Was it yesterday? 2 days ago.
2 days ago. He was an old boy. He was 16, and we knew he'd had a few, like, not fits exactly. They were like weird seizure things.
Yeah, but I've had a dog with seizures, and that wasn't a seizure. I don't know what the hell it was.
It was weird, but he was in between whiles. It only lasted for a couple of seconds.
Like, he would freak out or flip out or something, and then just get back up and, like, go do something.
Yeah, he just would go, like, rigid and go all weird. And then he'd go all wobbly, and then he'd be absolutely fine again, and he'd be playing with Fred, he was eating, he was drinking, he was losing weight, but he'd been losing weight for a while, hadn't he?
Yeah.
And he was okay apart from that. We were just trying to decide what to do, and like, do we... I don't know.
It was weird because the next day I was gonna go up the mountain, and we were talking about taking him to the vet.
He had one bad day, literally one bad day.
Where he didn't get up, he didn't eat, he didn't drink.
No, he just wasn't good at all. And we were like, we'll take him to the vets in the morning. And he literally went outside, didn't he? You took him outside in the morning. I took him
outside. He went under the trailer and, like, stayed there, like, for, like, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
2 different times. I got him to come out, and then he went back under the trailer, and then I was sitting on the little couch thing out there, and he came out and tried to jump up on the ottoman, but he was like,
He just wasn't standing up. He was
it was
over on
like
his
he was on
knuckles.
his knuckles, and so I picked him up and put him there, and he just didn't look very good. So I just brought him inside and laid him down on his bed, and that's
Like,
basically the end. That was it.
like within seconds,
Yeah,
he just sort of collapsed, didn't he? And we
yeah.
sat with him and talked to him and stroked him and said he was okay and stuff, and he just kind of passed away. So I'm
But it
glad.
was weird because it happened so quick. I mean, I don't want to say it was out of nowhere because we were planning on taking him to the vet. That
Yeah,
like within like an hour of what had taken place.
yeah,
But it was like he was up and doing stuff, and then he wasn't.
yeah. It was really weird. And Fred was. He didn't like it at all, did he? He's been really quiet and very cuddly.
Yesterday, Fred was acting weird,
Yeah, he wanted lots of cuddles
and
all
he
day.
keeps going up to the little dog bed we had for Giz and like tearing it up and like just destroying it, and he never did that before.
No, and I don't know whether I don't know whether he's trying to get cozy and he's just digging it and it's not right. I don't know. But anyway, that was really sad. So we buried him on the property, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I'm planning on doing like a little pet cemetery out there so that we can remember our little dogs and any other animals that we might have, because it's nice to be able to have somewhere to go and think about them, I think. And I've never been able to, I was saying to you, wasn't I? I've never been
Yeah.
able to do that before, you know, where you've got like, I don't know, the land, like, because whenever pets have died in the past back at home, we've always had them cremated and put them, had the ashes buried in my mum and dad's backyard. Um, they've got like an old flagstone yard, and they've had like the stone, um, what would you call it, like engraved,
Yeah.
you know, with the pet's name on and stuff for all our dogs. So they're kind of with us when we're sitting outside and stuff, which is really nice. But I've never personally had anywhere that I, you know, call my own to be able to do that. So I really like the idea of doing that. So he doesn't want no coffee.
Well, he keeps like snooting over to it.
So Fred's been weird because Gizzy was like his big brother, wasn't he?
Kinda, yeah.
And he didn't really know what was going on, but he's okay. He's just a bit like,
He wouldn't go near the body afterwards. He was like being really weird about it.
yeah.
Mina went up and sniffed it.
Yeah, and we wanted him to go and sniff it because I know, like, I used to be a vet nurse, and I know that they always used to say, like, you know, if one of your your pets passes away, it's really good for your dogs to be able to sniff and like understand what's going on. And he just wouldn't do it, would he? He was scared,
No.
I think.
And so Zoe wrapped him up in one of his blankets, and we took him out to the place where I dug the grave or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we decided to take his collar off. And when we opened the blanket up, then that's when Fred started sniffing. And he was just really confused.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
He's a very sensitive,
He
weird
didn't know
little...
what the heck was going on.
No, he's such a weird little sensitive dog anyway. And he's scared of everything, isn't he? And I think he was just like, he didn't know what was going on. And he's been a bit like, just needy, hasn't he? And been looking around, and he's been himself. He's been chasing lizards and doing his normal stuff, but just now and again he goes all like funny, doesn't he? And he's just not.
Well,
quite
it's probably
himself.
like the same thing we're doing. Like,
I keep expecting to see him when I come in.
when we were taking Gizmo out to the grave, you stopped and looked in the house to say, "We'll be right back, Izzy."
I know, it's so weird,
and
you know.
because his bed is like right in front of the door. So whenever we were coming or going, we would pass Giz. because for the most part, he didn't really get out of his bed much.
He's an old boy.
Yeah.
He'd sleep in his bed all day, and he'd potter out and go and have a wee, and that was what was so weird, because his tail was up and he was all like wagging and all like playing with Fred and stuff, wasn't he, the whole time? Like, we knew he was getting old.
Like the day before, they were doing that whole like jumping up on the couch and spinning thing, and I'm like, oh,
it's really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So it's been a rough time for that. Like, it's.
Or it wasn't the day before. It was the day before that, because the day before he died was when he was like, nothing was phasing him.
No, he was
just in bed all day.
He was just in his bed and he couldn't be bothered, and I was like, this isn't good. But I wanted to give him, because he still went out and had a wee and stuff, didn't he? But he was just like, couldn't be bothered, and I was just like, we'll take him to the vets tomorrow if he's no better in the morning.
And the other thing about him, ever since I've had him, and I mean, we got him in, probably since, I've had him since like 05. And,
Shay was born in 03, wasn't she? So she's had him all her life.
And his ears were always straight up. Always. Like, what do you call that? A reindeer Chihuahua mix or whatever?
I think so.
They were always pointed up.
Big
always, always, always pointed up. And the last day, they were like down to the side. And he just always had his head. And I'm like, I've never, ever seen him look like that. Because he never looked old. I mean, he looked gray, but he didn't look old until he wasn't putting his ears up.
I know, it was weird.
And I'm like, what the freaking heck's going on?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, I think, like, I thought he was going to die years ago. Like, just to be completely honest. So, it's like one of those things where I always think he's about to die, and he doesn't die. So then, when he finally stopped breathing, I'm like, let's just wait a minute. He'll kick around.
I know,
like, he'll just gasp and everything will be fine. So when he didn't do that, like, it was really kind of weird for me. Because remember when we were up in Big Bear, we thought he had dementia and stuff because he kept like walking around the edges of the room and he wouldn't like walk through it.
Yeah, he was such a weird little, like, he was very like a little old man, you know, that would forget that he'd gone into a room. And you could see him like,
what the hell am I doing?
What am I doing in here?
And like the big joke was always like, ooh, hi nice lady.
Hi nice lady, are you going to give me some food? Because he always looked like confused, but he was totally like perky.
Yeah.
Like, he'd leap up onto the couch, leap up onto the sofa outside and stuff, and he was fit as a fiddle, wasn't he? And up and down the steps.
Well, that's another thing too. On his last day, okay, he went out and he peed on the damn chair.
He's always peed on everything.
It's just like he can't stop himself. He goes and he pees on that chair by the fire pit. Comes back very slowly, and then very slowly gets up the steps. Okay? Looks over there. Sees Fred going over there. Fred pees on the chair. Gizmo gets back down. Goes almost all the way to the chair, and then just starts peeing. And then he's like, whatever.
But he was still like...
But he still was like, there's no way Fred's going to out-pee me.
There's no way Fred's going to... Yeah, he's going to out-pee
because, like, that was what they would do every day. And for those of you who have male dogs, you know, like, one will pee on a tree.
The other one will pee on top of the pee.
And then that one comes back around to pee on that pee. And it was just like...
He was the, like, male dog. He was, like, in charge of that. He was not going to let Fred out-pee him.
But, like, that might have been the thing that, like, did him in. He's like, I got to go up and down these stairs one more time.
I know, I just can't do it.
But, like, that was seriously, like, maybe, like, a half hour before it happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't believe your pride, sir. you know.
Poor little fella.
Yeah.
It's just very weird.
We haven't really talked about it.
No. It's very sad.
Yeah.
And I miss him, like, and it's weird him not being in his bed when you come in through the door kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fred's seen a fly now. But anyway, we don't want to depress everybody, but we want to tell
Too
you
late.
I know, sorry. But we want to tell you the ups and downs. You know, it's not all fun and us laughing about stuff. You know, it's sad. Sad things happen, and I was more prepared, I think, because he was an old boy. Yeah. So where are you going, Fred? Oh dear.
Oh, he's falling. Oh, he's falling.
He's fallen.
He's It's
okay.
What's up, Underbite?
Go up there. Oh. Good boy. You okay?
Well, someone touched him, so he's gonna have to lick his penis. Fred gets really nervous a lot, so if anyone does anything, he has to make sure his penis is still there.
Too much information, I'm sorry, guys. But yes, apart from that, what else has been going on?
Well, I went up the mountain that day, and I filled the element up with pallets. So I got, what did I get? 8? 8 big pallets.
Yeah.
And I'm going back tomorrow morning to get, I think I could fit 12 in because they're a little bit smaller, and I'm going to pack them a little bit differently.
Yeah, just see how many you can get.
So we have a ton of pallets. So now I could finish the composting area off the way I wanted to. We could build a better outhouse if we want to go that route. I also want to make a teepee to cook out of.
It's been really windy. Every time, it hasn't, it's like it comes and goes, but every time he wants to go and cook something, it's like blowing a gale. And it's really difficult to cook, like we've mentioned, because the heat just blows away from under the pan. It sort of blows sideways, so there's no heat going onto the pan. So his solution is to build a teepee.
Yeah. I want to have a little teepee that
I
I could
said,
cook
why
in.
don't you just build a little
windbreak out of the
pallets?
Well, you could, but there's holes in the pallets.
I know, but it still stops the main gale force wind going. You know,
you're throwing Gail's name around like crazy.
So if anybody has any ideas what you think we should do with them,
you know what she said to me? She's like, "Oh, why don't you go out in the wilderness here and chop down a tree and make a teepee out of that?" Because there's no trees, because we're in the desert.
I know. I was like, "What are you going to make a teepee out of?"
Well, then we're back to the hurdle waddle.
Well, why don't you do that? That's a project.
I've been thinking about it. I've been scoping out bushes that have long enough branches for me.
You're gonna need a lot of branches, you know that.
What are you, the frickin' math police now?
I just know when you're making wattle and daub, you're gonna need a lot of branches.
When you're making Rizzoli and Isles.
What?
Simon and Simon.
Oh. Yeah, so that's a good thing. So, I mean, you can never... He's actually got like 35. So I said to him, if he's got 35 pallets up there.
Oh, you didn't say who he was. I'm like, I thought you were talking about me.
No, the guy up with the pallets in Big Bear.
The pallet man.
Yes. So I said if we don't, you know, if nobody else takes them, whenever we're up there, we'll just take whatever. So potentially we've got, you know, a good 35 pallets, which always come in useful, even if it's just the wood or whatever that we can take apart.
Yeah.
And I know they're a bit of a hassle to take apart, but we've done it before. A lot of people just saw through them, I think.
Okay.
So, you know, they get a metal grinder and saw through the nails.
Alright.
Rather than try to pull them apart, because it's kind of labour intensive, but I don't mind doing that.
No. We don't mind a bit of labour. That's why there's Labor Day.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Anyway, what else?
The tent.
Yeah, the tent.
We started making a video about this and then stopped because it wasn't finished, but I still think we should put the videos up. Like, if it's a day that we did that, let's just put up that day's stuff. But basically,
Yeah,
the
probably.
winds have been really strong, and our tent looks like
You'll see on the video it's trashed.
it looks like Swiss cheese in a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Or somebody from Crystal Lake has come up and slashed it to bits.
Yeah, like having stuff
Seriously.
in there is like pointless now.
Yeah.
Like
It's so weathered, the material, and fragile that you can just touch it and it just goes and
you
rips.
could like seriously just go
It
and
would
like
just fall
rip
to
it
bits.
like with your
Which
finger.
we kind of knew there was going to be a time limit on it, but we were hoping it would last a little bit longer. So we've been trying to put like slowly move stuff from the tent into here, but there's a lot of crap in there, isn't there? There's a lot more than you'd think. I mean, I think it's probably possible, but we're just going to have to do
It
it
is
slowly.
possible. We would just have to really make use of all the storage compartments that are in this RV, which are actually quite a bit.
Yeah, there is. There's always in these kind of things. You know, under all the benches and the beds and everything, there's storage.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that we're not going to need for a long time. So, in the more sort of inaccessible areas,
Yeah.
we can put that kind of stuff and just try and write down where things are so we can remember where things. I know.
We didn't start doing that.
No. That's okay though. We know where everything is at the minute. I do, I think.
Okay.
But this kitchen, like we've got a whole giant tote full of kitchen stuff, like pans and pots and all kinds of cutlery and stuff. And there's not that much. There's like 2 drawers for the
Two.
cutlery. That's it.
Yeah.
So we're maybe going to have to like keep that in the tote and put it underneath the trailer or something.
Oh, that's a horrible idea.
There's just no room to do it. We have 3 drawers that I can put pots and pans and things in, so maybe I can stash them in there. I don't know. We'll see what we can do anyway.
I don't like the idea of sticking stuff under the trailer.
Neither do I, because it's not secure in any
It's
way.
not the security. It's
also
the more crap we have under the trailer, the more
spaces there are for creatures
and stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to have to work that out. Obviously, we need to build a storage shed, but again, things crop up and we can't decide where we're going to get the bags from. Which again, that's our main priority. We need to get the shed done.
Kind of stupid because like I honestly thought like, oh, okay, today's the day we're gonna order the bags. Let's order the bags. And then it was like, do you want these bags, or these bags? And then do you want them from here or do you want them from here? And then do you want Hyper Adobe? And then I'm like, Hyper Adobe? And we already talked about that, but I was just like...
It kind of just threw the spanner in the works. We were like,
I was just like, I just wanted bags.
We just want bags and get going. And
like,
it just made us have to rethink everything and how much we could actually... Because there's different budgets for each amount of stuff and whether it's cost effective to get more that'll... You know what I mean?
Because, like, if we got the third... We could make, what did it say, like 6 10x10 structures or something like that?
No, that was if you got like...
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, that's kind of crafty, you know? But so, I don't know. So then we were trying to think of like, what things can we build right away? And it just got... It got overwhelming, and then because of the wind and Giz and everything else, like everything just kind of...
We do this all the time. We have big ideas about stuff, and then we have to talk on the Weekly Heat about how things cropped up and we couldn't do it. But we will.
There's going to be an awesome Weekly Heat video where we're like, hey guys, guess what we did? And
bam,
then I just
bam.
Just truth bomb all over you guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. You guys are going to be like, damn, they got stuff done this week.
Yeah.
And then the final tidbit is the soil samples that we did.
Yeah.
That weren't awful, but are not great. And I don't know if we keep digging, if it would get better the farther down we go. I assume it would. I don't see why it wouldn't. But
I
that's
think there's
very
always,
intensive.
yeah, I think there's always going to be a high sand content to the amount of clay there is.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do some research to make sure that the amount that we have is going to be adequate. I think it might be. Because
Well,
I
like
think if the bag, the
everything
whole
I've
point is
seen,
the
the
bags,
bag holds
the
it
bag holds
together.
the structure. So as long as it's packed, because like places where we've emptied water, like we had a little paddling pool and we emptied that out just outside the trailer here, and the ground there is super compact with us walking around on it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's difficult to like dig things into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just with walking on it and with the water going on it. So I'm guessing it might be, but we're going to have to get some bags and actually pack them and see if it works. That's the
Yeah,
only
but
way we can do it.
the only thing I'm worried about, I guess, is if we're putting, because like what I've heard from different people who have done a lot of earth bag structures is that you don't really need to worry too much about how sandy your soil is because it's in a bag. But if you don't have a lot of clay in that bag and you fill the bag and it dries like as a rock or whatever, as time goes by, I would assume that that would just get sandy. Like, not like get sandy, but like that eventually it will kind of go back to the consistency that it was before you put it in the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Am I talking out my ass
No,
right
I
now?
don't know.
I'm just like, and the last thing I want to do is have like this structure like fall in on itself because.
No, but the whole point is that you cover it so it's airtight, so it holds its structure. Am I right?
Well, yeah, but like the other thing is that it's supposed to be like a hard, solid rock,
Mhm.
like after it dries. But if there's not enough clay, because like the clay is like the glue,
Mhm.
if there's not enough clay in there, will it eventually be something that I could like push on and like it has a little bit of give because the sand moves?
I don't know.
Or is it always going to be a solid, solid thing?
Well, that's what we need to research, and also, if necessary, we'll have to add some cement to it or something, because that's what people have done. Because cement's
Well,
not
adding
super.
cement, is
Just
that easier than adding the clay?
I don't know. I think so. I think that's what they did on my little homestead quite a bit. They just put a sprinkle. Was it them or somebody else? I can't remember. But they'd
I
put
don't
just like a
remember.
sprinkle, not like a huge amount in, just to stabilise it a bit. So we need to look at that. If anyone has any ideas on any of the things we've talked about, please let us know. Um, because we do have books on it and we've done loads of research and stuff, but new things crop up all the time that we're like, I can't remember, or I'm
And then
not too
it's
sure.
not only that as much as it, a lot of the stuff we researched before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're here and like we're messing with our sand,
Mm-hmm.
we're like, ooh, this is very sandy. Like, I expected this to have a little bit more of this kind of consistency.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes everything that we had planned originally kind of just stop because it wasn't at all what we thought it was going to be.
But there are quite a few um, earthbag buildings in this area.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to reach out to them, or
But you said like there is like a couple out here
mm-hmm.
and they had a dump truck of clay, right?
They got clay, but that was for the interior. That was for the adobe on the on the walls. It wasn't for the actual structure. So I think the actual structure might be fine because there's several people who have done that. and I think it'll be fine.
I mean, I'm sure if you do the barbed wire and the rebar, like through it,
But the
it'll
whole
be
point
okay.
is that once you cover them, the bags don't break down. So the bags are going to hold the structure. The bags don't break down because
No,
they're not in
I know
contact.
the bags don't break down, but does the brick inside break down into loose sand?
No, because it's not.
Why wouldn't it?
Because there's no elements getting to it. It's just like a solid structure still. That's how I understand it. Anyway, let me know. Please let us know if it's wrong. We'll look it up, and
No,
I'll ask. I'll reach out to people
it's
because
just kind of
people have.
boggling my mind a little bit. Because, like, I picture it like a sandcastle.
Yeah, but
You know?
that's open to the elements.
Yeah, okay.
And when you think about, the hole that we dug to put the water in to show people on the video,
Yeah.
like the walls of that, yeah, they crumble when you touch, like the sand comes off, but they're like a solid wall. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, no, I mean,
The
just.
only reason that they're crumbling is because you've dug a hole and weakened it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not crumbling when you're standing on it.
No. Yeah, that's true.
So hopefully the bags act as the structural integrity, if you know what I mean. And because you're putting a full covering over all of it, there's no elements getting to it.
Yeah, and then we have to decide what kind of covering we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know if you want to do um, like a cement mixture in with it, or if you want to do just like straight adobe, or if you want to do cob. Like,
I think we just need to do the most. What's the word? Like acceptable for our
area
that we have, because if we're going to do cob and stuff, we've got to buy the hay or the straw or whatever to mix in with it.
Yeah.
We're probably going to need clay, but if we can get like a lime mix that you can just mix in and just a small amount to the amount that you've got,
Yeah.
maybe that'll. We just got to work out what's most cost effective, I think.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about that until we've got it. And because they're small buildings, we should be able to do it quite quickly without there being damage to because the bags don't last long in the UV, in the open
Well,
sunlight.
that was the other thing I was thinking about, because when it was saying, like, oh, you could build 6 structures with this, I'm like, okay, well, the bags, I think, only last, like, 3 to 6 months. So does that mean we would have to, like, make everything within 6 months and have them covered?
No, as long as they're not. Like, you'd only have to make one shed and store the bags in the shed.
Oh, well, there you go.
You know, as long as they're not.
Good one.
What?
I didn't even think about putting the extra bags into one of the structures that we built.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a difficult few days, and sad, but it's,
But we have so much to look forward to. Like my mom's 70th birthday party.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
That's on Saturday. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it should be like, in all honesty, it should be fun.
It's always nice to see family and
Yeah.
stuff. It's always a little bit stressful. As you're probably very aware, like, it's lovely to see family, but it's kind of, there's always ups and downs,
And it's just getting there.
Yeah. It's
getting back, and
not only
I'm on display.
Yeah, and you always feel like we've already been told we have to wash the car because it'll be an embarrassment. We're like the
weird red-headed black sheep.
Yeah.
Stepchildren.
Yeah. And they love us to death. But
yeah, and
we're kind of an embarrassment at the same time.
Yeah. And like, I asked my sister, I'm like, do I gotta dress up for this thing? And she's like, no. And it's always like, Yes. Yes,
That means yes.
you
That's not
need
me.
to.
That's like code word for like, yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah. So
It's funny.
we don't know what we're wearing.
Because basically, I haven't worn anything other than a bikini and a crappy t-shirt and shorts for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
So actually having to like find something that's half decent is going to be interesting. And then on top of that, our kid has homecoming the same day. So we have to go early and leave early so that we can take her right back up the mountain to get there in time to get ready. Not just to go, in time to faff about getting ready.
Because it's not just homecoming.
It's Harry Potter.
It's a Harry Potter themed homecoming.
Yeah. Which is all fun, and we don't want to spoil that because it's bad enough that she has to go through the family get together, isn't it? Than to miss a homecoming on top of that. So we're trying to make it all.
And then on top of everything else, it's like I want to do something nice for my mom.
Yeah, of course we do.
But like I can't. Like there's like we've been trying to figure it out. Like what can we do that my mom would actually like / approve of / not be embarrassed by / whatever. I mean, she doesn't eat anything, so we can't get her any food. I guess we're gonna have to do flowers.
We're gonna get flowers and a nice card.
Something.
That'll be fine. But it's not only your mum's birthday, but it's a joint birthday with your stepdad.
Yeah.
So, oh god.
And I think when this was thrown at me, they were throwing their anniversary in it as well. And then I asked Candy about that. She's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, well,
really?
Does she know or does she not know? Like,
I know, because last year we did like a full.
Well,
no,
see,
not
here's
last
the
year,
thing.
A couple of years ago, we did.
The
like
problem is in September, there are 1, 2, 3, 4.
5, Sean.
No, he's June.
Oh.
There's 4 birthdays, an anniversary, and then my mom's birthday is at the very end of August. So, like, in years past, we've lumped everything together and just have like one big September party. Because in June, we also have like 4 birthdays. So we usually have one big June get together. Well, the problem with this September get together is that there was so much focus on it being my mom's 70th and everything. And I think their anniversary is a big anniversary too. I can't remember, which is awful. I'm a horrible son. But I think when it started taking the focus away from everyone's birthday, I don't know if people got pissed or what, but like some people are like boning out to go do their own birthday stuff and not come into the big family birthday thing.
She is not amused.
And no one has even mentioned the fact that one of those September birthdays.
What?
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 Yeah. Like, so it's just like the weirdest thing.
I know, I don't know what's going on.
And there's going to be like some of my parents' friends there that we don't know. And so does that mean we have to be on? Because I've been to these things before.
You have to be on.
I don't get invited to the things that my mom's friends go to. And the only reason why my sister gets to go is because her and her husband have to wear matching outfits and they're the hired help.
they go and like serve
hors d'oeuvres
and champagne. We're not allowed to go.
Yeah, it hasn't even ever come up. It's not like you're not allowed to go. It's like
never mentioned.
Like we hear about it the day after when Candy calls.
And this is usually like months in advance that you hear about these things.
So this whole thing is just really stressful, but I want to try to look at it as us just doing something nice for my mom.
Yeah, because we
But,
love her. We love her
yeah.
to death. And she's amazing. But it's going to be hard work.
Yeah.
Especially with a 16-year-old who wants to be literally anywhere else on the planet but there.
Any freaking where else
Literally,
on the planet.
Literally anywhere. You could name it. Even here in the desert, which is too freaking hot.
Yeah.
And there's no privacy. So, it's going to be fun. So, we'll tell you all about that.
Oh my god. So anyway, so we're doing this now because the time we would normally do this is now being sucked into that vortex. So
we'll report back on.
Gosh, we've made this sound really bad.
I know. It isn't. It's just family stuff. Everybody knows that. We love our family. Don't get us wrong. I'm so grateful to have such a lovely family.
I look like sheep fannies.
So do I. Look at mine.
I'm so tired.
But we're just letting you know now because we didn't want to miss the weekly heat and we wanted you to be able to get it on time. But just pray for us. Because we're going to need it.
Oh.
So, tomorrow's a busy day. More pallets. Picking up Shay.
Dude, okay, so tomorrow...
Car's getting a new tyre.
Car's getting worked on. Car's getting washed. Pallets. And then
grocery shopping.
All of the pharmacy stuff. Like,
Basically,
all of the little things that I, like to get done when I go up the mountain. I have to, get them all done, but I have to get them all done in a timely manner. Which means I have to get up early and be gone early because it's a Friday and Fridays on the mountain is hell on earth, dude. It's why we left. It's like one of the big reasons why we left. It's
seriously, on a Friday, it's like through the week it's like pleasant, isn't it? Then Friday hits, even in the morning.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I can do anything.
No bother.
Go anywhere, everything's fine. But Monday sucks.
Monday sucks because all the locals who have hidden their houses for the entire weekend to avoid all the tourists come out to do their shopping and stuff on the Monday. So that's it's just as busy.
Yeah, but at least it's like a cordial busy.
Yeah. So 12 o'clock.
Oh yeah, we're gonna run the crap down out of the last 2 days or the next 2 days on the Sunday hangout.
So come and hang out with us and hear all the goss.
Noon Pacific. There's gonna be some ranting, guaranteed.
Yeah, ranting and.
God, I'm so pissed off now.
You're nuts, seriously.
What?
Gonna be fine.
No, I know. I just got all worked up.
I'm just gonna hope that your stepdad's gonna ply me with a lot of wine as soon as I get through the door, and that's me. I'll be asleep on the way home.
That's like their bonding. Like he has no idea what else to say to you. He's like, "Oh, Zoe likes wine. Would you like some wine?" And she says, "Yes, I do." And then they're like, "Huh." Just check that conversation off the list.
It's fine by me. Get on like a house on fire. So, we'll sign off for now. And please tune into the hangout to find out if we're still here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
You're very close.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next week.